All right, what are we looking at here? This is some real science behind this, and it also perfectly aligns with the journey you'll have to take to see a fat loss goal through and get to the other side. Okay. I'm Mitch, Calvert Fitness. We help busy parents lose that belly fat without starving on stupid diets. And a lot of it comes down to getting our members through this to the other side. So, what are we looking at here? Well, anytime someone starts a diet, I'm Diet Yourself, by the way, is the book. It's a better alternative, and that's what we're going to explain today. They have uninformed optimism. They think this latest diet's going to be the answer. Maybe it's keto, maybe it's Mediterranean, carnivore. It doesn't really matter. It's something that gives you some uninformed optimism that it's going to work before you really dug in and got to the reality of the situation. So you might lose some weight here. This is the peak of Mount Stupid, right? Where people think they're really informed. It's Karen at the water cooler, essentially, who thinks she has all the answers but has no results to show for it. Everyone goes through this initially, and you think it's going to work, and you start dropping some pounds, but then you get to hear informed pessimism. Can I really not have a piece of cake for the rest of my life? Answer is probably no. I'm starting to feel kind of grumpy. All the symptoms of dieting start to kick in, especially if it's an extreme method that you know you can't stick to. And this is what happens. You get to the valley of despair where it looks like the requirements of change now outweigh staying the same. And you get back into that cycle where you start over a few months from now with some other new approach. So, how do you break that cycle? Well, first off, certainly you have to commit to the process, put some skin in the game, but you need, this is the big emphasis, you need to find an approach on day one that you can conceivably sustain for 6+ months so that you get through what we call the valley of despair. Okay. So this is where most quit because the new car smell is worn off. You don't feel as motivated as you did on day one. And all the actions that you were taking consistently through the first few weeks are starting to fall off. So how do you get through that? Well, you develop routines and habits that you can sustain. Consistency always beats intensity. So that means drinking your water, eating a bit more protein, doing maybe 3 workouts a week versus trying to do 5 or 6, and making it a lifestyle. That's what's going to get you through the grind. Now, it helps to gamify the grind, enter challenges, get accountability, get a community, maybe a coach, get someone that's going to kind of keep you going through this because eventually you do get to a point where it's informed optimism. This applies to starting a business, to losing weight, to everything in life. And once you get here, I'm confident you're going to see the other side. That's where you realize, okay, this is hard. I've gotten through the toughest part of it, the valley of despair. I'm now optimistic that I can maintain these behaviors for a while, hopefully forever. And you eventually start to see the payoff for your efforts, the results. You get a big win. You've now shifted your identity from someone that's just changing some habits short term to lose 20 pounds to what I call an infinite game, where you're doing these things because you feel better for it. Your life's improved. Your quality of life is at a new standard, and you don't want to lose that. So you want to maintain the habits and rituals and results that got you to this point. All right. So once you get here, yes, there'll be a bit of an ebb and flow throughout life, depending on the seasons, depending on what's going on, but you never stray too far from your baseline. You never fall back to that uninformed optimism where you're starting some new approach. All right. This resonates. Drop a yes in the chat. If you're on live, type live. If you're on replay, watching in the future, I don't know how that works, type replay. Any questions about this, let me know. I forget actually who originated this whole concept. If you look it up, you'll find charts and more in-depth research behind the different stages and so on. I just have found with our over 1,500 plus members, the ones that get through this, get to maintenance, they get results that last forever and they don't need to come back. Okay. But there's many who do get in that mindset. I'm going to do this for a month or two. They start to fizzle out here, quit, end up back where they started, rinse and repeat for decades. That's not what you want. You want to get through it. So find a routine and habits and diet that you can sustain longer than just a couple months. Maybe that is keto for you. For most, it's not. It's a more sustainable approach, more habit based, and then get through the other side because it's worth it. All right. We'll leave it there. Have a good rest of your day. Any questions, drop them below. Cheers.